So what do you? I know there's a solution to the problem. There's gotta be, Tavia. Either that or
Well, he says
maybe.
he knows a solution. What's the
Oh,
solution, Tavia?
I think he's gonna say.
Raymond, here he tried restart. She already tried restarting. That's why I'm here.
I think he's gonna say download the game, and I don't think
No,
you can do that
You
with
can't.
cloud
No,
gaming.
you can't with cloud gaming. You can't. And even then, she wouldn't be able to do it today. Then.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think your laptop could even handle that amount for the game.
I mean, to be fair, you're not wrong.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure your laptop, you'd have to uninstall a bunch of stuff just to get it going.
And I made all the gayest edits for it.
Okay, Tavia, you can't just download it through the game's has itself. You can't. Not for a cloud gaming anyway.
Chatting and technical difficulty streams.
Yeah, it's the cloud version of it, Tavia, not the downloaded on your computer version.
There we go. We got a name change. So, what do you think about the Hogwarts Legacy? Are you a Hogwarts person?
I'm a Harry Potter fan.
Are you?
I am a Harry Potter guy, and I'm Gryffindor, to be honest. But yeah,
I don't know what the fuck that means.
Gryffindor is one of the 4 houses. You have Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Slytherin, and what was the 4th one? It's been so long since I've actually done anything Harry Potter.
Wait, but you didn't take exception to the fact that she ripped Neil Gaiman off?
Oh, Ravenclaw. I never saw it as ripping off Neil Gaiman.
Oh my god.
All right. To be fair, I've heard of other things she's ripped off. Besides, are you saying that anyone who takes something based on a world on magic is ripping off Neil Gaiman?
No, she literally ripped everything off.
Such as?
Everything. The houses.
The houses.
Okay, no, maybe not the houses, but have you ever seen, oh god, what is his name? Timothy Hunter. Have you ever seen him? He looks just like Harry Potter.
The look has nothing to do with it. I am asking you, give me proper examples of what is the ripoff.
I would have to go back through and look at it. But there's a bunch.
A similar character look could be it, but other than that, what else?
Everything. I don't remember. I would really honestly have to go back through. Yeah, okay, it was he literally had the chubby guy even wait
a minute,
there was so much
glasses and owl and magic. Well, to be fair, the owl was just for sending letters.
Nah.
Just because he has glasses and magic does not mean it's automatically Book of Magic owns the rights to all of people with glasses and magic.
No, he fuck J.K. Rowling.
Well, look, I am just saying, I am a fan of the actual material because I grew up reading it as the books were coming out.
You like Joanne? Her name's Joanne.
I don't care for the woman herself.
I try to call her I just call her that to be disrespectful. I'm not going to lie. Oh, I did get your email this morning. I was making a whole bunch of gay edits for The Last of Us. I will write you back, I promise. Speaking of The Last of Us, we need to make fun of Ben Shapiro.
I saw that.
This is the best article I can find. It doesn't have the actual. Does it have the actual tweet?
Actually, no. Raymond has made a good point. Isn't everything a ripoff of everything? That's a good point. There's always going to be some way you can connect to it. Oh, and by the way, what's his name? That guy who claims the Batman ripped him off, Watts or whatever. He's now doubling down, saying, "Oh, James Gunn knows, and he's also a part of the people trying to keep me down."
He's an idiot. I thought we knew that a long time ago.
Unfortunately, there's still people in CG who are taking him seriously.
Who takes CG seriously? Nobody. Here it is. Here it is. We gotta talk about this. You were supposed to say something so I could take a drink.
Sorry, sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. Okay. I'm going to read this to you guys.
Okay, you'll read it. All right.
I'm going to read this to you guys. You need to understand we are talking about Ben Shapiro. And I will say I respect, like, just baseline, I respect Ben Shapiro more than I do people like Tucker Carlson and shit. Because at least Ben Shapiro's willing, like he had a conversation recently with the girl from the Young Turks. Like, at least he's willing to discuss ideas instead of hide in his echo chamber. But this alone, you can't be this stupid.
I agree with this. This tells you he doesn't even know anything about the games.
He says the entire episode had no zombies.
Does it have to? No
real threat. You know,
does every episode of a show have to have a threat? Really?
Okay. For one, the episode 4 did not have zombies. Episode 1 only had it in the Sarah part. But the problem is there was a real threat. The threat.
Oh, you got a tip, by the way. Hold on.
Oh.
Pause. Hold on.
Totally playing Arkham right now.
Hold on. It leads to a YouTube short. I'll link you to it. Hold on.
Whoa! Are you guys fighting? Really? They're already so mad. Okay,
I'll send you the link in the
pause.
There's the link in the private chat.
YouTube short I think you might find quite heartwarming. Awesome. We'll look at this before we go in on Ben Shapiro, because I know when I talk about these topics, some people don't like it, some people do. I tend to people don't like political divides. All right, let's see. A 3-year-old finds out her mom was adopted. Wait, her mom. Okay.
What? That's your mom. That's my mom? Yeah. What do you mean? Why, mommy? Why what? Why I was adopted.
Aww.
Why? Because my mommy didn't want me. My mommy didn't want me, so a new mommy's name was adopted.
Oh.
That's so sweet.
Oh, it's so sweet. That's exactly what it was.
That's so sweet. Thank you, Pause. Oh my God, I love stuff like that.
That guy just sent us another one. And I'd be willing up like 4-ish. Yes, 4-ish. But I have to be out by 4:30. I have a meeting at 4:30, so I can make it.
Are you guys? Thank you, Dead Guy. You didn't have to send a tip to do that. I hope you know that. Are you guys available for another quick DC Vampires meeting today around 4-ish? Yeah, I should be fine.
4-ish, yes, but I have to be out by 4:30.
That works anyways. Okay. All right. We need to make fun of Ben Shapiro, but I can still hear my cat.
That's hard. Like, that's hard.
Right. I hear you, motherfuckers. Why are you fighting?
Okay, I didn't hear him that time.
Okay, hold on. Hold on 1 second. They're just not happy this last week. Not at all.
Samuel, we actually talked about that yesterday. You're way behind. Oh, the cat's at it again. Then I sing. You guys do not want to hear me sing because I cannot sing worse crap. You do not want to hear me sing. Believe me. Tris? Tris?
I'm sorry. Bane had a hush fucking cornered trying to fuck him.
Oh, jeez.
They are ridiculous the last week. I'm so sorry.
Hey, this is probably the biggest time they've done this.
Hush will end up coming up next to me at some point.
Aww.
Tristan is focusing. No, okay. I put in the private thing, I put talk cats.
I'm sorry, I didn't see it. I didn't see that because I'm focusing on the comments.
Okay. All right, guys. For real.
But
45 minutes later, I'm finally going to get to an actual conversation here.
I don't know if you know, Samuel brought up, explain why EVS and Eric July are bothered so much by the Robin cover. And I said, we talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all.
It doesn't make sense, although I was at least able to explain that I can see why there is a difference still. I can explain it much better than these guys do, just simply say, oh, it's an agenda. And I'm like, okay, to a degree, it is an agenda.
Okay.
At the same time, the context is different on the two covers. You can't even compare the two, besides the kissing.
Yes, you can. But here's the thing. The word agenda is so dumb, okay? First off, everybody has an agenda. I hate to break it to you. When you wake up in the morning, you're like, what's on the agenda for today? What am I doing? No. Listen, let me get my rant out. It may be a different type of agenda, but everybody has different things that mean something to them. The man making okay, wait, we're not talking about episode 3. So that's I got the two mixed up. But their agenda, AVS and Ripa's agenda, is simply to cause
outrage. Yes.
I don't know. Now, I'm not a big fan of the Tim Drake stuff. I've been clear about.
Me neither. Of course, if you say anything calling them out, you must adore it. No. It could have worked, but it's becoming just as bad as
Never.
Iceman.
Yes, it is.
It is becoming just as bad as Iceman, which I'll be honest, yes, these guys called it back when this started, but it was a case where you got to wait for it to get there before you can declare it. Sometimes you might get it where it's not bad, like John.
Yeah, John has done well. He was a new character. It made sense. Tim was around for 35 years. You cannot expect people to simply be like, okay, cool. Like, this is a huge change.
Bernard is a Bernard in name only.
But with that being said, there's no real difference to
the Borzoi meme. Came back from watching the Borzoi meme. What?
I don't see it. I don't see an issue. I don't see an issue at all with the cover. I just think a lot of it is, hey, I'm going to cause outrage. I'm going to point out that there's gay characters. I'm going to point out that there is a change. It has been done well at all.
It is not. Because, again, you had to radically change both characters to do it. And then be like, again, when you have the first 6 or 7 issues, the entire civilization has to mention Bernard and how worried Tim is for Bernard. That's a problem.
Yes. It's ridiculous. But that brings us to Ben Shapiro. Another one that, hey, I'm super late because of work. Hey, I fucked up my whole stream, so welcome to this this mess.
Microsoft fucked it up. Not you, Tris. You had nothing wrong with it. It was all Microsoft. Microshaft. It was Microshaft.
It's the gay mafia. They're coming for your kids. Kansas City or Philadelphia?
I don't have any kids.
Kansas City or Philadelphia? Do you have a pick?
The Super Bowl? Neither. If it's not Detroit, I don't care.
I'm going to say, because I know nothing about it, but I know Philadelphia is the Eagles, and I don't know the other one. So I'm just going to say Kansas City. Oh, Chiefs. It is the Chiefs. Okay, I'm picking the Chiefs.
Just made a good
no, I got to pick the Eagles because Reese has that Eagles thing on his thing. So I'm going to pick
like Phoenix. For some reason, the cloud gaming was not working on her computer.
Yeah, really bad. But let's talk about Ben Shapiro.
Yep. Let's get back on topic. Oh, you don't work today, Bianca. So good. You're not. It's not just a break thing today.
Ben Shapiro is upset that The Last of Us episode 3.
Yeah, let's get back to reading it. Get back to reading it.
The entire episode had no zombies. I wonder if he made that statement about episode 4 also, just out of curiosity. No real threat. It's about 2 gay dudes who meet and have a relationship in which one grows strawberries for the other, and then they die by not being killed by zombies. One gets cancer and decides to essentially euthanize himself, and gay Ron Swanson decides that he is also going to commit suicide at the same time because of Romeo and Juliet, or Romeo and Rolio in this particular case. All right.
At least he acknowledges the pros, that it was well made at least.
Let's give him a little bit of credit here. He does say,
yep,
it's all really well produced, beautifully shot. However, there's a problem with Brokeback Zombie Farm. It is a zombie show. There are no zombies in the entire episode. There are no zombies in a zombie show. It's worth pointing out, it literally has nothing to do with the plot of the show. It's also worth pointing out here, it's very much so worth pointing out, these are not zombies to begin with. They're not zombies. They're infected with this parasite. It's a fungus, not a parasite. I mean,
exactly.
But hold on, Robert.
Go ahead.
It is also not a show about zombies. It is a show about fatherhood. It is a show about addiction and redemption. It is a show about loss and getting over that loss. It is not a show about zombies. Actually, I would say The Walking Dead is much more about zombies.
Yep.
But it is also not about zombies. Please tell me, when you've even with The Walking Dead, you went through different arcs of villains, right?
Mm-hmm.
99% of the time, the villain was not a zombie. Sure, they killed walkers. They killed them. They went on about their business. But you had the saviors. You had the whisperers. You had the wolves. You encountered people. People were what the show was about. Relationships, growth, learning.
Now, I will just say this. These at least you're utilizing actual characters from the games. Now, if this was entirely original characters and everything else, maybe you could make the argument, what was the point of the episode if it was something that was not tied to the game? You could make that argument to a degree. Would you agree with that? If it was no one that was established in the show, completely original, it would feel like this was a filler detour. What was the point then to make a statement? But at least here it's actually tying this up that was already in the established game and expanding on it. So at least you have that as a justification for it existing.
And one thing that was so important about this relationship was it was the juxtaposition with Ellie and Joel. It was the first time he started to get those real fatherly mentoring feelings towards her. And now we see in episode 4, and I'm gonna say they did change a little bit in episode 4, which is fine. I liked episode 4. I will say it was the weakest one. Because first off, Samuel mentions episode 4 had an original character.
Yep. Oh, I didn't say you can't have an original character.
No, but it wasn't a good original character. She was just.
She was filler, like he said.
Yes,
filler.
They're making Henry seem like this crazy villain, which I don't also know where they're going with it. Episode 4 was the weakest. Absolutely the weakest. It had a really cool looking villain guy. He had really cool hair. But it was the weakest. But saying that it's the weakest doesn't make it amazing. It was still really good. But episode 3 And it was one of my complaints from the beginning. You have to deviate just enough to keep us interested. They did that with the kind of hive mind that we're seeing. And instead of using the spores, I know a bloater, Don the Bomb posted that a bloater is coming the next episode.
Oh, geez, look what Raymond just said. Ben Shapiro's on record that he openly looks down on adults who watch cartoons and video games. What the hell?
Well, not only him, but Matt Walsh, most of the Daily Wire. Like, I remember Matt Walsh making fun of anime and stuff, and he got quite a bit of pushback for that. But this wasn't some, like, meet cute, oh my God. This was two men that fell in love, and it was really, really well done. And, like, I'm still not understanding why people aren't picking up on this guy was clearly, like, a libertarian-esque dude. Like, he Bianca, if you want to join, you're more than welcome to also.
Yeah, if you want to join, Bianca.
But I really did enjoy it. Now, I will say, this was filler. It established Henry. It established.
Oh pancakes! I want some pancakes, Mike.
I just forgot. What is the other guy's name? Henry, and what is his name?
Someone that Sam.
Is it Sam?
That's what Samuel said.
Well, we know what's going to happen. Yeah, Sam. I don't know what I was thinking. We know what's going to happen.
Yeah, Bianca, if you want to come on in.
Yeah, I'll email you a link, Bianca. But the situation is not just some, oh my God, this is a gay thing. Now, I did hear. There's actual criticisms to be had. The criticism, the weird aging to me was something I was like, we saw Joel age a bit, right? A bit from the very beginning. But these people turned into old ass men. That was the biggest issue.
How much time passed?
I believe it was 20 years.
20 years. Well, to be fair, some people do age worse than others. And you could also take into account, given their locations, they just stayed there at their one place. You're going to probably age a lot faster there than Joel, who is, kept on moving and keeping himself in shape.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a bunch of factors. Also, they could have been older than him, so the age caught up to them faster. If they were the same age,
I had someone say that they didn't like that they were able to end themselves, but the situation they weren't like, originally in the game, Frank hung himself, and Bill you actually work with. Now, I did like that they were able to kind of change that up, because in that relationship in the game, it is toxic as all hell. Is my mic working okay?
Yep, your mic is working fine.
All right, I was just making sure. I forgot to bring my Logitech up when I restarted, so I couldn't monitor it. But again, another big criticism that I had was that they didn't, at least to my understanding, they didn't pre-establish that they were in queer relationships, because hello, Bianca.
Hey, Bianca.
Hello.
And then
aren't you a ray of sunshine?
They didn't establish that they had previous relationships, and at least somebody said they might have, and I never went back and looked. I should have. But that could lead to the idea that, like Sultan says here, no human contact would kill you slowly. So are they actual queer men, or were they in a situation where they felt lonely? And
no human contact would make me thrive.
You're insane.
Thank you.
I don't know. I understand, like, there's a lot of like people. I actually got in an argument with somebody in Saggy's stream yesterday. Shocker, right? I got in an argument. I got in an argument with them because they were saying, they said I had bad takes, and I was like, fair, that's fair. But saying that I was using them being queer as a shield, and I'm like, wait, what? I literally told you all of these different reasons that I thought this episode could improve. The age, the pacing a little bit, that, he got shot and it almost looks like that he died. And then you're like, okay, whatever. But using it as a shield is ridiculous because we were talking about Tyrone Mangus. Are you guys Mangus? Are you guys familiar with that YouTuber at all?
Not really.
He was upset that it was, an openly queer relationship and said, and I pointed that out, and they were like, that nobody's mad that they're gay. I'm like, go look at my comment section.
Do they have a channel? Like, do they actually post something?
That's Tyrone.
Familiar.
Yeah, they have a big channel, a couple million subscribers, I think.
Well, nice.
I like your song.
Oh, thank you. Oh, wait. Are you talking about Tyrone?
Yes.
No, wait. Wait, is that it? Tyrone?
Huh?
Oh, I was mishearing what you were saying. That's my bad.
No. I got it up. I'll show you what I mean. I could be saying it wrong. He's been around for forever that I remember.
Tyrone Magnus is what I'm pretty sure. He's a black guy, yeah?
Yeah, him.
I heard manga, so I'm like, is this anime manga
she's
stuff or
written
whatever?
as more of an a-hole than what she is in the game.
Yeah.
No, she's not. She's not.
I wouldn't know. I haven't played the game yet until it comes out on PC.
She's an asshole in the game. She is spunky and sparry, and she is wonderful all at the same time.
From the gameplays I've seen, including yours, yeah, she is a bit of an a-hole.
And that's kind of why
she's a kid.
Yeah. She's got that like kid attitude that kind of drives you crazy, but also at the same time is needed, right? Because she's living through an apocalypse. She was just, when we're first introduced to her, she had been bit 3 weeks ago and lost her best friend / girlfriend. So like, yeah, she's going to be an asshole.
Yep.
I don't like her. And
to be fair, squish face. I loved, oh my God. In this, she loves, you know what? I love dad jokes. Dad jokes are quite possibly the funniest things to me. Like, I fucking love dad jokes. So does she. Do you know that diarrhea is hereditary?
Wait, what?
It runs in your genes.
That can be hereditary.
And then she was like, what does a mermaid wear to math class? An algae bra.
I've heard that one. I've heard that joke before. Or geometry. Gee, I'm a tree.
Oh my God, I love dad jokes like that. Like, those stupid puns are always my most favorite thing because they catch me off guard and they're so good. And she loves dad jokes and it's wonderful.
That reminds me of the first game where you see Joel and his daughter, and she gave him a watch, and he's like, "How'd you get this?" And she's like, "Stealing drugs." And he's like, "Well, you're gonna have to support the family now." And I'm like, "Oh, that's funny." And he's like, "Oh no, it's not working," which is something dads like to do all the freaking time. And then she's like, "What?" And he's like, "Psych." And I'm like, "You fricker, I understand that."
I freaking love the jokes. And the funny thing is those exact jokes were carried over straight from the game to the show. And I was like, I still laughed. They're goofy little puns that make me laugh so much. Yes, even Samuel said, Ellie in the game is kind of the annoying brat. In the show, she acts like a know-it-all bitch. I don't think she acts like a know-it-all bitch. The face, squish face. But
you're talking about her looks, not her personality.
Yeah, she's definitely not a know-it-all. She doesn't know shit. She really likes guns. So I'm like, yeah, I like this girl.
The episode of her showing like really intense fear made me like, okay, this is pretty good.
Oh, you did watch it?
I was doing a watch party with Max and the crew. She shot a guy in the butt.
I loved that when he asked, he was trying to be like a mentor, kind of, but he's really, really bad out of it because he's not at practice. And she just has a couple tears and you can tell she's hurting. And I really thought that was like good character building between them.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's really like, she doesn't have the, like, I'll give her shit like with the squish face stuff. Yeah, she is not as adorable as Ellie is, but she's getting everything else perfectly.
What? You saw his spine? That makes it less interesting. It's funnier if she were to shoot his butt. His butt was right there, and her gun was like, pee.
Yeah, she paralyzed him. He couldn't move, and she had to leave. Joel made her leave the room because he had to obviously finish the job. But
which I was like, he grabs the gun, and I'm like, okay, so he's gonna shoot the guy. He stabs him. And I'm like, what? Why did you just shoot him? Why'd you have to stab him?
Why don't you just
bullets
shoot him?
Bullets are scarce, right? So you got to be really careful with them. But I did like in that scene that you're talking about where by random, I did like in that scene where you're talking about where they actually it was something they more incorporated in the second game, the begging. The making you feel like you're taking someone's life. I thought that was so good because he was yelling for his mom. I had a hard time. I mean, I know this was a bad guy, but him sitting there saying, you know, if you could just take me to my mom, and then he's about to die, and he's like, Mom, like, that was horrible. Fucking horrible. And it's supposed to be horrible. Taking someone's life should be horrible.
Yep.
But why is 3 horrible? Let's see.
Now they've revealed a sadistic side to her in this. So this episode starts out with Joel and Ellie walking down the road, trying to get to where they need to go. And they come upon a Cumberland Farms. I haven't said that in a long time. Cumberland Farms all died out. It's a convenience store. They all died out around here.
Oh, that's a real place?
I guess.
Okay. All right. Not for Abby. She enjoyed it. Samuel, you're just an Abby hater.
I actually hate on a lot of things.
No, I actually really liked Abby by the end. I will say, yeah, obviously, you're not supposed to like Abby until the end. You're supposed to wait to see her story. Like, some of the fucked up shit that Ellie does, you understand Abby's motivation. Like, Ellie literally kills a pregnant woman. Like, it's fucked up what she does. So you understand why Abby wants vengeance. Joel killed her father. And it's the same thing, very similar at least, to the Savior's run in The Walking Dead. Because there is no good and bad. There's my team versus your team. The Saviors, they killed all of their outposts. They killed everybody in their sleep. But they're the good guys. Like, it makes you really, really think of that gray area. And I get it with Abby.
People forget that there's gray areas.
There is in real life. It does not exist online.
Unfortunately not.
I don't think there are any around where I live anymore. So come on Farm. So they're rummaging through stuff, foraging or whatever. And she finds a trap door to the basement. And you're like,
okay, just get to the gay.
Episode to where they deviate greatly.
I promise
and
gay.
It will be very controversial. So to let you know, there is gay love, gay kissing and gay sex in this. This is mainly all about Bill and Frank. Okay, 95% of the episode is about Bill and Frank and how Bill and Frank meet and how their whole relationship proceeds. I can't even think of the right word. So, what's interesting is how we're introduced to.
I am very curious. This is what makes people hate me, because I point out the obvious. I'm very curious if there was a whole episode about Tess and Joel in the beginning. Would he have said there is straight love, there is straight sex, there is straight kissing?
Of course they wouldn't. Of course they wouldn't, because they're used to that.
The gay sex wasn't even that showy. Like, they cut it.
Yeah. It was more like the beginning, like a little bit of foreplay, them on top of each other, and that was it. That was literally it. But when it's straight love, there's like straight love. There's like clothes flying, a girl pressed up against the door. Like, I get it. Some guys, and I had this conversation with Joseph a little bit last week, about some guys don't like to see it. I get that. But there is no difference.
Agreed. By the way, I'm partway through with Velma, so I'll be ready for you and him tomorrow.
Oh yeah, and there's the last two episodes drop tonight at midnight or tomorrow at night. I don't remember.
I will watch them. I will stay up to watch them, so I'll be ready for you guys.
But it said I've seen more sex on Family Guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, we need a trigger warning that there's gay love? Okay, that's where we are today.
Who Frank is when we go looking for the battery or whatever, or the truck. The truck, right? I think it is. Anyway, when they find Frank has hung himself in the game. He's hung himself, and he writes this. He had written
he's a dick.
A note to Bill telling him how much he hated his guts and all this other stuff. Well, in this one, also, we do not run into Bill the way you thought, like it happened in the game, where Joel's hanging upside down and shooting all the infected coming at him, and Ellie's trying to help him. I wish they hadn't did that. That would have been done great. I think they could have did that really great, but they didn't do it like this. So, Bill, you find out, is a survivalist, which kind of makes sense with how everything he had set up.
Bill was always a survivalist. In the game, he was a survivalist. And I actually think expanding upon that was really cool, because there are people that are that kind of survivalist by nature. And I accidentally, last week when I was talking about The Last of Us, I said, he's kind of psycho. And I'm like, well, that's not the right word. He's very much so like pro-2A libertarian type. He believes in conspiracy theories. Like, there's a great line in the episode where he's like, and you think the government is run by Nazis? And he's like, it is run by Nazis. I fucking love it. It's so good. I'll give him a chance. Even though we've gotten the gay love, gay sex, gay pride, whatever he said.
You find out he's a survivalist. One day he finds out someone fell into a hole and around, I guess a trap around his house. And it's Frank. So Frank poses no threat. Become cool for
are you just going to tell us about it?
Bill makes some dinner.
Yeah, I guess that's a review.
He sees his piano. Frank sees his piano, and he starts playing. And I think so they're together, right? Flash forward. Frank doesn't like the fact that Bill wants to stay secluded from everybody. Maybe there's some good people out there.
Okay. I actually have a better one. I didn't watch it myself, but I seen this morning. I was listening to Xander Hall, and he played one. I'm sorry you got roped into a Last of Us stream. He played one that was ridiculous. Now, why? Okay, has anyone actually ever seen Brokeback Mountain?
No, I've not, but I'm very well aware of it.
Is it just a gay love story? Is that what it is?
Pretty much.
Okay. I mean, if it's good, I'd watch it. I love stories. I'm a fucking girl in the sense that I love romance. I love meet cutes. I love slice of life stuff. that I don't think Bianca even is that. Like, are you a big no, I know better. Why am I even asking? You didn't even cry. I'm gonna shame you for not crying.
Why didn't you ask me? Because I'm a hopeless romantic. Is it because I'm a guy you're not asking me?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm sexist. What can
I say?
Yeah, trust me, I've always been a guy who's been big into shipping and everything.
I'm a Hallmark Nazi. That's right.
I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. And here we have the director of episode 3 of The Last of Us, and he says point blank, he wanted to trick the audience into watching a gay love story. Because
is that okay?
How are you tricking? Like, if you
why
know
don't we actually
truth-
see before we go further, should we check out the context he's about to give first? Let's see what this context of this quote is.
All right. We'll be fair.
It was never about telling a story. It was never.
Oh, I love. You see how he's got his thing on dark mode? I wonder if he's trying to hide that he's reading an actual Daily Wire article from Ben Shapiro. Well, I don't know if it's written by Ben Shapiro, but he's Daily Wire that we just literally made fun of for his take on this. Okay,
right.
Well,
I don't think he would care.
Yeah, that's true.
The Daily Wire.
Daily Wire is super, like, it's Daily Wire and like Bounding Into Comics and a couple of those that people use on a normal basis. I even still to this day look at, if I'm looking like for a stream topic or something, news that's going on, I'll look at both Bleeding Cool and Bounding Into Comics because I can get both sides of the situation and then kind of make my mind up from there. I actually didn't used to hate Bleeding Cool, but now whenever they talk about trans people, they're like, man, who think they're a woman. Like, it's really shitty.
Because they're catering to the outrage because they know they're going to get the reaction and they're going to come there, going to share their article. That's why they do it. I don't think they really believe it. They just know that Comicsgate keeps an eye on their stuff.
Uh-oh, Michael said a pro-gay thing. Uh-oh, we need to find it. And shame him. No, I'm just kidding. To be fair, I'm surprised. I am too. You know what? We're at a time when I don't remember it ever being like this before. Growing up, maybe it was where I grew up or who I hung out with, but nobody cared.
No one cared where I grew up either.
What about you, Bianca? Was that ever... I know you had a gay friend in high school.
Middle school.
Middle school.
Which apparently to some people, 8th grade is the start of high school. Kind of weird.
But, like, was it looked down upon in your circles?
And I mean,
you're more conservative.
The whole thing about minorities is that they will talk more about the stereotypes and will sometimes be can act more racist than like white people.
Yeah.
And so when you have a school full of that type where you're where there's a negative stigmatism, I guess would be the word.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Wait, isn't stigma?
But luckily, I personally didn't see it, but from when I would overhear people's like conversation, it would happen a lot in that school. I mean, there was also a lot of school shootings in that school.
Oh my!
In that school, and bullying in that school, suicides and all that stuff. And so it's like, yeah, there was a lot of things in that school.
Isn't stigmatism something you get in your eyes?
I think that's a different word.
It's close. It's stigma. It's close. Yes. I'm like, wait, what are we? Okay. See, I miss a time when it was simple. Nobody cared. Being gay wasn't political. And it's been made so political at this point that even pointing out, and I do it way too often, pointing out these things are no different than straight relationship.
Exactly. Well, those that handle it well, yes. Then there are those who are the types who are like, for example, I'm trans. No one wants to date me. They must be false. And it's like, no, it's their preference. You do have the entitled side of it, who act like they are duded, or everyone must accept. It's like, no, don't be like that either. Don't go to that extreme.
That's exactly what we were talking about earlier. Saying you can't play a video game, that makes you a bad person. That makes you...
Oh, boy, yeah. Unfortunately, they don't realize they were given the right ammunition. And unfortunately, you do have so many people who were... I saw, for example, that one article that you had shown saying you should not do it on its merit. I saw so many people I follow on Twitter liking that. The main tweet.
Wow.
Like, really?
Well, it is Twitter. To be fair, Twitter sucks. Like, absolute garbage platform. It was literally made for people to fight. Like, you've got
fight.
Bickering, and it's got this weird amount of power. You've got people, even like known lefties, huge lefties like Hassan Parker, like, why can't we play this game?
Yeah.
Like, it's not a big deal to play this game if you want to play this game. And then you have the dumb, and I mean the dumb. Have you guys heard about the Mr. Beast thing? No? Okay. Mr. Beast is well known for his charity.
Right.
He does a lot of really cool stuff. He's done like...
Oh, wait, you were asking us?
Yes!
Oh, yeah, of course I know who Mr.
Wait,
Beast
is that a YouTuber? Is that a YouTuber?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
He's super popular.
It's okay.
But what he did was he took 1,000 people, and he cured them of blindness.
What?
They needed a surgery, a simple surgery.
Gotcha. The cataract surgery. I'm seeing
yes. He cured them. And you had a bunch of lefties, and even people I follow, like the Cavernacle. I was like, to be fair, he's super commie.
Cavernacle is also one of those who was saying that one Twitch person got had it coming because of the audience.
I don't mind conversation with him, but we disagree on a lot. Oh
yeah, but that one I just wanted to point out to you. He was one of those who was saying, yeah, that Twitch person, yeah, it was obviously.
Oh wow, really? Yeah. That's terrible. That's terrible. But we're saying that what Mr. Beast does is not a good thing. What he does, healing 1,000 people, was not a good thing because he used it for content. Where do you think that money comes from? He had to pay for all of those people. Do you actually think that he could have funded that without having his YouTube channel?
For me, I just don't like that he's like, okay, hey, I cured you all of blindness. Now only one of you is going to win $1,000. And I'm like, wait, why don't you just give everybody the $1,000? Why are you only choosing one person? This is the person who's going to go to a grocery store and pay for almost like everybody's groceries.
But regardless, he's still
one blind person. Non-blind person, former blind person, I should say. They're not blind.
I understand that, but still, it's like biting the hand that feeds you. All the rest of those people still
there's the tweet
had their sight fixed. So what is I don't know. I have zero problem with what Mr. Beast does because I don't think that there is any issue with helping people, even if I understand it can be seen as exploitative. But in the same sense, every single one of those people are happy. They can see today because of him. If your audiences are progressive, because that's what you've cultivated, maybe just don't play the game because at the very least, they'll hate you for it. Okay, he's just being very brushing it off, but I don't think he's saying they deserved it. Wait.
Yeah.
I don't have much sympathy, to be honest. Plenty of streamers are playing this game without issue because they have cultivated an audience more like them. If you create your livelihood on a more left-leaning audience, don't be surprised they don't like the magic game. Okay, I see what he's saying here. Now, this actually brings it back to something.
Or they also said like they could have raised the money and not played the game.
Oh, I just remembered. So I said some misinformation on my part that I have to fix.
Oh, what's that?
Where I said that she, with the money, would be paying for any like anti-trans messages or something like that.
Yes.
So
I don't remember her ever saying something that blunt.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to correct.
Oh, you were wrong.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Let her talk.
She said that she's comforted by her royalty checks. She said that in response to someone telling her that she is destroying her legacy. So that's what I have to. So what I said was incorrect, and this was what she actually said. But people are interpreting it that way. Which
Gotcha.
Can she use that still for all that stuff? Yeah, she can. I mean, she's already trying. But that is not what she said specifically, quote for quote. Thank you.
Okay, that makes more sense because it's not like she's taking the money and putting it into something that would essentially hurt trans people at the end of the day. She's just saying it's a comfort. That makes more sense. But I think what Cavernacle is saying, I understand. I don't necessarily think it's a nice thing to say, but I understand it because when I started to change a little bit politically, I had cultivated an audience that was rather right-leaning.
Mm-hmm.
I did not expect them to like what I had to say, but it didn't keep me from saying it. So I think the thing to keep in mind here is if you want to play it, you expect maybe some pushback if you have a progressive audience, but just be very firm in your beliefs. And I think
yeah, and I bet you they were expecting some. They weren't expecting
so much.
Yeah, I don't think they were expecting that much of it for them to be like, "Oh, you are a trans," saying all the horrible stuff they were getting to make them cry.
Yeah, it's assumed that she is. Yeah, and you know what assuming does? It makes an ass out of me.
Yeah, but she's done it before, so the assumption is not far off.
Yeah, but she's also, like I said, she did that that battered women's shelter that specifically doesn't allow trans people in there. She said a lot of really terrible things, but I don't know. I just don't want to somebody feel bad because they like Harry Potter. I think that's silly to me.
There's a YouTuber I follow. Go ahead, Bianca.
No, I just wanted to say it in that accent, a really bad accent.
I was gonna say there's a YouTuber I follow, League of Geeks, who they always do talk about Doctor Who, but they always put a disclaimer saying, "I don't promote the BBC. I do not defend," because they've done some very anti-LGBTQ statements and saying until they change their ways, I'm going to keep bringing this up at the start of my videos. But he still talks about Doctor Who separate from everything. Wish more people were like that.
I think Joe has a really good point here. Left-leaning audiences are hard to please, like right-leaning audience on YouTube. People don't like moderates. You're either with or against it.
Exactly.
That is the truest thing I have heard today because I consider myself relatively moderate, I would say. But a lot of people, I am definitely not woke enough for the woke geek channels. I am definitely too woke for the anti-woke channels. I sit pretty in the middle and just deal with it. And I don't mind. I guess I would say I'm more liberal leaning, but the fact that comes from the very simple thing of me being okay and wanting rights for women, wanting rights for queer people, being pro reparations, all of those things lead to people going, "Oh, commie. That girl over there, her's a commie. You better stay away.
She's a dirty and stinking commie."
Mm-hmm. But now you are too, Bianca, because I said so.
Ah.
All right, let's watch the rest of this video because I want to see the context behind how he was able to trick an audience into watching a show they had already watched 2 previous episodes of. Yeah, okay.
About
Wait. Joseph said there's no middle. Both sides are lies. Well, okay, so it's just a uniparty. Let's be real.
When you think, when you think about it, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
When you think about it, the moderates are a uniparty when you really think about it. Because I've noticed that if you're a moderate left or moderate right, you're more likely to have more people agree.
Yeah. Tristan, you're not a moderate. You're a left-leaning libertarian. It took a test to prove it. Yes, that is true. I said left-leaning. But my biggest thing is, I believe in individual rights, and I don't know why that's controversial. It just is. Talk to Liana K about J.K. Rowling. Has she done any videos about J.K. Rowling?
Yes, she has. She's been doing that with her talking with another girl, 2 women talk.
Oh, okay. See, I watched her Wellness Wednesday today. But I didn't watch her stuff about JK. I know she's not a fan.
She's not. But she is calling out to those who are being these extreme idiots, saying, her bullying people.
Oh, good.
And I gotta say, I've also noticed that, again, I noticed the biggest vocal point people doing this are the allies. Those who are saying, I'm an ally, I'm going to show what an ally I am. And then again, they were saying like the YouTuber that got harassed, people are saying, oh, their allyship is in question because they were willing to play. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's really silly. I would consider myself. What's an ally? Somebody that just is okay with trans rights?
No, the ones who are their defenders, their friends and allies. Those who are saying, "Oh yes, I am pro-trans. I'm going to defend the trans," and basically saying, so if you're going to defend the trans, you have to be anti-everything, anti-trans.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Liana has actively argued with JK herself.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Pushing an agenda. And as I said, 2 things can be true at the same time. Could it have been a really good quality episode? Absolutely. And it was. But it can also exist only to push an agenda. And it was. And
this is what I said earlier. The word agenda is overused and meaningless. Everybody has an agenda. If you're setting out to write a story, what you're putting in that is an agenda. And he, again, wouldn't dare call having a hetero relationship an agenda.
Nope.
There is nothing wrong with wanting to tell a queer romance. That doesn't mean you have some malicious agenda. Sure, that may be what you set out to do. That would be considered an agenda. But they use it in such a derogatory way that it is all getting meaningless.
So Tug and Timple are in a Twitter slap fight. Timple's just latching out at everyone lately. What did he do?
Oh my.
I mean, I know he blocked the quartering, but what happened? I haven't been so out of the loop on that. What the hell's going on?
I have no idea. I knew the quartering and Timple were fighting, but
yeah, because he out of the blue blocked him.
Oh yeah. And then something to do with Eliza Blue, which I don't know very much about, so I haven't talked about it really.
Hey, by the way, can I give something comic related?
Of course.
I just went through the Lazarus Planet one shot. It's probably the best one of the batch.
Oh, good. I read Poison Ivy.
You have Ramby doing a Red Hood story, introducing this new group called the Vigil. You got Flatlines gain powers, and turns out she's the reason Ra's al Ghul is back that we saw in Batman Flashpoint Beyond.
Ah, okay.
And we got a new villain who's apparently a different version of Deadshot, who is the nephew.
Oh, Deadeye or something?
Deadeye, who's the nephew of Amanda Waller. And we actually get more about Red Canary, and turns out she's a Gen Zer.
Well, that's okay.
Oh, yeah, and she's still a good person. They actually don't give too much into her mindset, aside from, Maybe I'm just not cut out for college. I'm barely getting C's, and we're a straight A family. I'm just supposed to grow up and become something. So in other words, she feels, in other words, much more fulfilled in her life with being a hero than anything else. And she teams up with Sideways. She teams up with Sideways.
Oh, Sideways show. Oh yeah, that's awesome.
What does this have to do with her being Gen Z?
No, I'm just saying her person. I'm just saying that that's clearly her type of, how they're building her up as.
Oh, in what way?
Well, I'm just saying, that
I didn't read the comic, so I don't know her. I don't know.
We've been seeing Red. No, I'm just saying we've been seeing Red Canary just in her hero identity beforehand. Now we see that she lives. She's like a slob. She's and everything. But
wait,
she's also.
Did you just call Gen Zers slabs?
No. I was going to say what she's a Gen Z, but she's one of the good ones, not the entitled type of Gen Zers who think they know everything.
So, as a person who has actually worked with Gen Z in the workplace, the ones you see online are the minority.
That's what I thought. But she's more like the majority. She's more like the majority Gen Zers, is what I was meaning to say. I didn't mean that as a bad thing.
No, I got it.
Aren't you almost a Gen Zer, Bianca? Are you?
Apparently 1997 is Gen Z.
Okay.
I'm 1995.
Oh, Circuit Breaker comes out next week.
Well, technically, my brother is a Gen Z.
So Joseph said ally is socialist term for people who parrot propaganda. Okay, well then I don't know if that's a very good definition. Because I would say that
I wouldn't
take other things that I support rights of, but I don't know. Joe said, why are we attacking Gen Z?
We're not. We're attacking the minority who are the entitled ones.
But I don't think I guess it depends on what propaganda you would be talking about specific, Joseph, because you can support rights for queer people or trans people or minority. You can support these things without parroting propaganda. And propaganda is not all socialistic. Propaganda is stuff like we see people thinking, that a bunch of prepubescent kids are having trans surgery when it's literally not happening at all. At all. You can't have surgery for a prepubescent child that has not even had development. So I guess I would have to have a better explanation than that. Gen X, I am a damn millennial.
Same here.
Freaking millennials. Blame them for everything.
Right, Gen X were probably best in X-Men.
All right, let's see what the actual context is here.
Right.
The director himself admits, because he goes into this not worrying about telling a good story. He goes into this wanting to put his self-projection into it, and that's exactly what he did. So here we have the article where it says, The Last of Us director Peter Hoare said he wanted to trick his audience into watching a gay...
Can you imagine having the last name of Hoare? That would be terrible. Peter Hoare. Dirty Peter Hoare. Oh my God.
A love story in an episode of HBO Max's new apocalyptic drama. Hoare, who is gay and is known for his work on the British LGBTQ plus. Oh, sorry, I put the plus in there. The LGBT plus, I can't keep up with it anymore. Miniseries, It's a Sin, said that he wanted the viewers to see that it was the same love as straight people, but just between two guys.
That's fine.
This has nothing to do with actually trying to tell the story that complements the overall story. No,
so what's the issue?
Keep going. Let's keep going.
Centrally focused agenda that this director is wanting to put into it, because that's what it was always about. So I was right once again, and I'll continue to take credit for that. Thank you very much.
So he actually didn't.
Daily Wire, as we get further into this article, being a little disingenuous.
Sometimes you have to.
When he said trick, oh God, that's.
Let me read it.
I was talking about how is it tricking? These are characters that were in the game.
Yeah.
And they have said at the end of the episode that they wanted to show more of their relationship into light. Like if you played the game, you knew these characters and you knew what was going to happen. So how is that tricking?
Yeah, it's like you can't fit it in the game. You can't fit something like this in the game because it'll be a pointless cutscene that no one's going to want to watch.
It's not tricking. You're just telling your story.
Yeah, that's the thing though. No, the guy saying sort of tricked because the word trick was in there. Geeks and
Yeah.
Jeremy's just jumping on it saying, "Hey, we were tricked." It's like, no, that's not what he meant. He's saying for you to realize it's no different than a straight couple, which again, these guys can't stand. They cannot stand the idea of anyone looking at a gay couple as no different than a straight couple. Because for them, just by being gay, it's sexualizing things.
That is not sexualizing things.
I agree.
So there's this unneeded, I don't know if it's projection or what, of people saying, okay, here's an example. That Action Comics. Well, why are they sexualizing
Oh God, Dad.
Lois Lane? They're not. They're just letting, she's just a vanilla mom that
Who has her kinks?
yes, it wasn't a big deal. Making something gay doesn't sexualize it. You are projecting the idea that being gay is only about sex. Being gay is not only about sex. It is clearly gay, pan, bi, whatever.
You want something that actually is sexualizing? Wonder Woman's lasso, bondage.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You're more likely to get more sexualization out of her using her lasso to wrap someone up right there because you know about the creator stuff right there. That's more sexualizing than one thing Lois Lane's kinks.
Raymond says, why is being gay even a criticism to these people?
Because it's not straight. That's why.
Because anything gay is agenda driven to them. And Joe makes a really good point here. So they think artists cannot have social or political commentary in their work. That's pro-censorship. Absolutely.
Warm Lily makes a good point. Wonder Woman's original weakness was, especially if she was bound by a man, she lost her powers until she was released.
So at this point, this has to be one of the unless you are these, and let's be real, a lot of these people are like, pro free speech. Like I'm free speech, free artistic integrity. I want people to be able to tell the story they want to have. But a lot of times when you're telling a story, whether you're doing a painting, a comic, a movie, a TV, a lot of it you do draw from your own ideas and from your own and situations and experience that you've been through. So this was an openly gay man. Okay. This was an openly gay couple.
Someone mentioned earlier where does Circuit Breaker show up in that Darth Fate book? Prime example right there of, oh, we'll be fine if it's an original character. Okay, and someone and the writer of the story said, oh, it's going to have a 9-bad character. Story not even out yet, but already, no, it's going to suck. Why are they forcing it on us?
Oh, yeah, Circuit Breaker.
It's a new character. Don't care, they're forcing it on us. Why are you said you be tolerable of a new character. Rah, 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 rah. It's like, people like when I do my little rants like that, don't they?
Samuel said, wait till they see Dina or Lev. Lev is a trans character that we meet from the Seraphites. And Lev actually, in the Seraphites community, and it's been forever since I played it, but pretty sure they have like very, very stereotypical gender roles, right? But Lev didn't want to be a wife. He wanted to be a warrior. He didn't want to be a wife. So he became a trans character and was basically punished for doing so.
YouTube noob, put it best.
So if they announce the relationship, it's woke. If they don't announce it, it's tricking people. Yeah. So much for subtlety in the argument. You know what?
I agree, Raymond, by the way. I agree.
Also in the video we were watching previously, he gave people warning, like, this is gay love, this is gay this is gay that. I
mean, yeah, there's
so much for them being against trigger warnings. That's so silly.
Oh yeah. Oh, they've been against it. Okay, then that's a completely different context. Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand. If they were good arguments, I could understand it. But from most of what I'm hearing is, I do agree that the deviation, some people didn't like the deviation. That's fair. We hear that a lot. You stick to source material when at all possible. Unless, I think there's a good rule to have with all properties like this or with comic books, is the only time you change anything is if it adds and if it does something better.
Like this, I think, adds because, or if it's something you couldn't do because of the medium. In the case of the game, again, like I said, you couldn't tell the story because who's going to sit down and watch this story that's not going to amount to anything in the story, the game story.
Right, and plus, what year did The Last of Us come out? It was. Hold on, let me look it up. What year did the original Last of Us come out?
Not sure, but look at Joe's comment while I'm looking.
Was it 2016 or 17?
2013. That was even before.
Feel old yet?
Gay marriage wasn't even legalized in all of America in 2015.
When am I backpedaling, Hooded? When did I backpedal? Did I backpedal?
I did not pay attention.
Bianca, did I backpedal?
I wasn't paying attention either.
You will never make these people happy. Original character woke, but Rimpa complains about tokenism constantly. Yes. And I don't get it because even in, I don't know if you guys saw much of that recent debate, he was even bitching like about the concepts in comics have been very similar, right? Throughout the entire thing. He's saying that Wally West isn't tokenized.
Because he's white.
Yes, but the fact that Miles Morales is another Spider-Man, that's tokenized. And the reason he dislikes that, I know, and the reason he dislikes it is because he's black.
He's so confused. He even calls him Peter Darker, which if a white person said that'd be extremely racist, bro.
He calls him Peter Darker?
Yeah.
He's nothing like Peter.
Exactly.
Wow.
Oh, both of their uncles died. Ooh, dang.
Okay, so like, one was a dad, the other one, yeah.
We do not mind crapping on Bendis's work when it is bad.
Riri, prime example.
Almost every single time he has created a comic book with a black character, a majority of the time it has been bad. But we should not freaking ignore that almost every run after the original that was created by Bendis has been good.
Yeah.
Has been written better. And to think, he was written bad. Well, yeah, in that run. Once Bendis left, it became good.
It's like
Same thing happened with Riri. Eve Ewing came in and saved Riri.
And it's like the opposite, the inverse with Kamala Khan, where people, like later stuff, did not handle her well. And people were saying, she always sucked, when it's like, no, she was beloved when it started.
Yeah, that's what tricked me too. Like, I was told that her runs were always bad. And that's just their talking points that they use, that they don't even read comics anymore. So why am I listening to you?
Exactly. And it's like these people don't realize Kamala Khan, she was like the Spider-Man in that generation.
Well, the thing is with that is you can say that to an audience that doesn't read it, and they're going to believe you because they don't know otherwise. Now, if you were to say that to a normal, a huge, like, cultivated, like, Comic Historian or Comics Explained, an audience like that.
Oh, no, they'll know. They'll know and call you out.
And that's the issue. Like, you can say, this is woke, this is this. And I know I've used this example before, but I literally listened to Yellow Flash say that Jonathan Kent was battling, his big villain was fake news. And people just believe it. And it's so weird to me that...
Again, it's like when I went over with, you'll be seeing it tomorrow's video with the Injustice versus Master of the Universe. Andra shows up in it. Her second appearance, very brief, she's white. And yet, when people went to the universe were coming up, people were like, they race bender. Like, did you even know who the character was? They still race bender, it doesn't matter. And yet, ever since then, anytime they have a race bend character that's even more important than Andra was, they don't seem to care. Unless it's a main character.
I did not watch that. I didn't finish that debate. I couldn't even get into an hour. of it, and I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Oh, you're talking about the Rippa debate.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, you both are annoying me. I gotta leave.
Yeah.
Apparently to some people, Rippa won. Why? Because it's Rippa. Rippa always wins.
That's what I said.
A few comments saying like, "Oh my gosh, how come they don't care about black characters? How come Static? They don't give Static another book? How come Vixen's not getting another book?" And I'm like, they are getting books. That's what we're telling you. We're telling you they're getting books, but nobody's talking about it because it doesn't build outrage, because that's not what gets you the clicks. You are being fed that Static and Vixen and a lot of the other black characters that are now getting more books right now are not being cared about, so they're not getting any books. Now, whether it's written good or not, that's another issue.
Well, yeah.
Right.
I mean, it reminds me when people were saying, why don't they make John Kent a kid? Why is it all this writing stuff? And when the Peter Tomasi one shot was going to be announced, something that could have been done to help it, you had so many people saying, oh, I'm not buying it. I don't care if it's Peter Tomasi. It's John. I'm not buying it still. It's like, you're defeating the point then. You got to prove with your wallets and not your bitching.
Exactly. Don't buy Shein products.
And they were saying that. Like, what?
I don't know what that is.
Hey, what did you say?
You don't know the brand name, the clothes brand Shein? SHEIN.
Never heard of it.
Well, they mostly do girls' clothes, I think, anyway.
But
It's
anyway,
I think it's Chinese. It should be, yeah. Their factory's in China.
But you get my point, right? I mean, that particular one is like, you could have done it. You could have galvanized saying, let's buy a bunch of them so we could see people saying we want this type of thing for John. Instead,
I don't know. I just don't see. I don't know. I don't get it. I really don't. Yeah, you can cultivate whatever type of audience you want, but at least.
Well, I did not bring up something that I get mad at Tavia about. I was just being more reasonable, saying people could have done this, Hooded. That's what I was saying. When, like I say, when Tavia does it, he just goes in all, oh, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. They're like, no. I said it could have happened back then because that's what you would have done if you needed that case of doing it. I was just bringing it up as an example of the hypocrisy.
It's capitalism 101. Your wallet speaks volumes. And that's what I've said for a very long time. These people get mad when there's a new queer character, a new minority character, something along those lines. It's always outrage. It's always something like with the Tim Drake cover saying, oh, now he's all about his sexuality because he's kissing Bernard, as compared to the cover that I showed yesterday where he's kissing spoiler. There's no difference. Capitalism is basically dictating this. There's rainbow capitalism, right? People think and go into it, especially in the month of June, and it works. Their big beef is not with anything other than capitalism.
Yes. And here's the other thing is, do you really think some of these characters are going to stick around? Some of these ones are going to be, yeah, they're going to bring characters into this one shot. They probably are going to get one or two other appearances and then off.
That's an issue. That's an issue, though. That's an issue I have.
I'm just saying, these people, though, seem to act like these are going to be the next main big characters. Like, no, they're not.
No, absolutely not. The main, you're going to keep getting your Superman, your Batman, your main characters. Even in talking about The Last of Us, this was just one episode out of, I think, 8 or 9. I can't remember exactly. But the main character of The Last of Us
again.
has always, the main character of The Last of Us has always been queer. So what's the issue here?
I know. Well, because their argument would be, oh, but I was interested in DLC, so that doesn't count. Yes, it counts.
If Harley becomes a dude, Harley will be like a fuckboy, a femboy. And it would be so weird.
Now, would you at least accept if there was one out in the multiverse? I think anyone would. Just not the main line one.
Right? We've got the multiverse event going on right now, and we've got old lady Harley. We've got the Harley who laughs. Like,
you're going to have the Ivy who laughs. And technically, one of the members of the Fragments is technically a Flash who laughs. At least in design.
Oh yeah, yeah. Michael said, "Isn't it a problem that they put out poor writers on minority characters?" Yeah,
No.
I don't think I would say not all of them. If you read the Icon series, that one was really, really good. The only
Who's Icon?
Now the current Static one, Vita is not alone. She has someone else co-writing it. So.
Ivy Draper guy, and I listened to yesterday. BJ Kicks, or formerly known as BJ Kicks, now he's Comics Are Dope. He said that the first issue was really, really good of this one. So I'm going to jump back on. But besides, I'm trying to think of the minority characters that are written really poorly. And besides that one Static run and Nubia, let's be real. Nubia.
I am Batman.
Oh, God. Okay.
I am not Batman.
Michael may have a point here. Yeah. Michael may have a point. Now, the Icon and Rocket series, great. And then they did Jeffrey Thorne did a book that was awesome too. Yep. So it just depends.
Majority of the milestones have been good.
Yeah. Good morning, Brian. It's like when conservative news was yelling about gay Superman, first not realizing it's not Clark Kent, but his son, and second, not realizing he even had a son. Yeah.
Well, that happens. It's like when Jason Todd got killed off. People kept saying, how dare they kill off Dick Grayson, because they just knew Robin died. And plus, from my understanding, there was a Denny O'Neil once mentioned about time. He went on a news thing and had to correct them, saying there wasn't going to be no, this is Jason Todd, not Dick Grayson. What? We're going to make all these dick jokes. Oh, man.
Who doesn't love a good dick joke? Come on now.
But you can't do it if it's not Dick Grayson you're going to complain and you're upset about.
Yes. Milestone will always have an audience. Yeah. And I think a lot of it, like my biggest issue with Milestone was...
way to go, dead guy.
My biggest issue with Milestone was the fact that...
Did you get my email, dead guy? Sorry, you can continue.
Whatever. Static fell off in the last half of that series. The art was great. So I stopped buying it after 3. But the rest of the Milestone stuff was actually... What did Jeffrey Thorne write? I forget.
On. I got it. Give me a sec.
What are we doing? Jason, I heard Jason Bourne, but that's not what we said.
Jeffrey Thorne.
Blood Syndicate. Blood
Syndicate. Yes.
Sorry. Oh my God, it's Jason Bourne. Memes.
Jeffrey Thorne.
Yes, Jeffrey Thorne did a great book. Another issue that they have is not promoting them. Like, I absolutely love the webtoon. The Blood Syndicate?
No. Yours are the series Duo.
I love Duo. They're so sweet. And there's so much love.
No, that was the case where they made them Asian. They weren't originally Asian.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. I thought they were. That's exactly... Brian, that's exactly what I said when we did the announcement. I'm like, oh shit. You know exactly what's going to happen. That's too funny.
Hooded, are you okay?
I'm banging my head on the wall over and 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 over. Okay, yeah, but
are you okay, man?
Are you okay? Did you say that a social media cleanse?
An intervention of sorts.
By the way, the artwork.
Take 20-minute naps.
Ooh, 20-minute naps sounds wonderful. An hour.
By the way, you were right. Looks like the artwork had switched over on Static from Crisscross with some help from this Nicholas Ivy Draper. Yeah, to then it just being Nicholas the rest of the time.
Oh.
Then you have Icon and Rocket. That was good. Yep. Hardware. Now we're having Icon versus Hardware.
Are they gonna have like an omnibus for all of the Milestone characters?
I would assume so.
Oh yeah, they already did one. They've already been putting out a compendium collecting the original Milestone.
And it was so cheap too.
I have the first one.
All right, guys, I am going to wrap up. Robert, what do you have going on in your channel today?
I got Star Wars Empire's End, where that dead guy and I gone over. Then it'll be Injustice versus Master of the Universe tomorrow. And I'll be starting up Miles Morales today.
Woohoo.
I am an idiot. I accidentally deleted my 100% save file last night.
Oh no!
You have a 100% safe file and you deleted it?
By
How was
accident.
it?
By accident. It was an
Amazon
accident.
orders animated series of Witches by Scott Snyder. That's so fucking cool.
Further proof that, again, it was made to be adapted.
Yeah, well, still, Witches is great. It's older anyways. Bianca, what do you have going on in your channel this week?
Being tired.
Fair enough. It is nap time for Bianca. We will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.